So you're a new real estate agent debating whether to go solo or join a team? This video is for you. Here's the problem with 100% brokerages and why you should consider joining a team. So this video is going to be a little bit different, but I just want to introduce myself. My name is Brayden Milner and I'm team lead of the Milner Team at Florida Future Realty. I've been around the industry my entire life. My grandparents were both real estate agents and my mom was a real estate agent as well. She's the broker of the company as well as co-team lead with me. So I just wanted to go on here and just kind of share my experience of, you know, what I think would be most beneficial for just starting out real estate agent, whether you just got completed in school, whether you're starting a new career, you know, maybe whatever the case may be, but what would be your best options to start producing right away, whether you should go solo and join 100% brokerage or whether you should consider joining a team and go in that route. So I basically, probably about 2 years ago now, was when I had first got my real estate license. It was kind of one of those things that I ended up just getting it because, you know, my family was in the business. Both of my grandparents were real estate agents. My mom was a real estate agent. And so it was kind of one of those things where, you know, follow along the family path and get your license, but I didn't really do too much in my first year. I was still working another job doing some online e-commerce things, and so I was, you know, still trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do. I was still training, doing my fighting, all that good stuff as well. But then about a year ago now, I decided that, you know, working that normal job, the 9 to 5, the monotonous of, you know, show up to work, do your job, go home, I couldn't really take it anymore. My mind has too much stuff going on, too much, you know, busyness to where just sitting in that like structured environment where I can't be creative, I can't perform, I can't, you know, do those certain things that I want to be able to do, and it was just really not for me. So about a year ago, I had, you know, put in, basically what I did was, you know, I went, calculated my expenses, made up a little budget, and said, okay, I'm gonna be able to get my first deal within 3 to 6 months. So here's 6 months of living expenses, quit my job, and I went all in. And, you know, basically I had to do what I had to do because I didn't have that extra backup income. I just, you know, went 100% into this new thing. Granted, I had a leg up because I was around the industry for my entire life. I was, you know, from the time I was probably maybe even 3 or 4 years old. I believe my mom's had her license for about 20 plus years now. So basically, you know, my whole entire life I've been around the industry. So I definitely had a leg up. I knew kind of, I was familiar with, you know, concepts and the general process of buying a home, where, you know, a lot of people don't really have that leg up to where they actually, you know, understand the business and kind of what's been going on. So basically I had quit my job and then I had started to, you know, go full time on real estate. At the time we didn't have the team set up. It was just basically the brokerage as a whole was almost set up kind of like a team. So my mom, the broker, she's, you know, running ads, paying for a lot of these things for us, paying for our softwares, paying for our CRM, paying for ads, giving us office leads, all these kind of things. So I really right away when I was able to get started was able to just dive right into having, you know, a consistent flow of leads. People were signing up on our website. I could reach out to them and it was, hey, you signed up on our website, you know, blah, blah, blah. I just want to touch base with you regarding your home search, rather than me just cold outreaching to people and not having any idea where to get started. There was already kind of a structure and system in place. So that was able to help me out a lot. So I was able to, within my first 2 months of doing real estate, close my first 2 deals. I think it totaled 1.2 million or something like that in my first, you know, couple months. And then I had another couple months where I closed another $1 million in sales, and then the next couple months another $1 million. But I wouldn't have been able to do that, I don't think, if I didn't have the foreknowledge from, you know, the years of experience around the industry, and also just that structured system of, you know, when I did quit my job, I was able to just log into our, you know, database and say, hey, here's a bunch of people that have been on our website who have been, you know, saying that they're interested in purchasing Southwest Florida real estate. Hopped on the phones, did my relentless follow-up, got my deal started, you know, went from there. I was able to, you know, basically just close those deals, and kind of, they came in batches, but then I was able to go from there. So at the time I was still, you know, I was an office agent, so I was still getting, you know, some office leads, things like that. But then here comes a step where, you know, I'm trying to now bring in my own business, generate my own business, do all of these things. So that's where, you know, you kind of start to see a little shift from where I had this, you know, structure of just follow. But that was kind of how I got started. You know, I just had a real clear system of leads and a follow-up procedure, you know, blitz the people, you know, they signed up on the website, say they wanted to buy a house, give them a call right away, follow up with them every couple days, get them an appointment set up to come down here. Very, very structured, and that was how I was able to get those, you know, first couple deals. So there's really, I like to think about it in terms of, there's almost 3 stages of a real estate transaction. So there's the contact phase, and then you have your contact to contract phase, and then you have your contract to close phase. So the problem with a lot of agents is they don't have, this structure and setup, whether it's at a brokerage that offers leads and is kind of a team setup, or whether they're, on a team. A lot of these things are, a lot of these 3 steps are taken care of for them. The problem with a lot of the people who I see get into the industry that are brand new agents and they don't have any past experience, they don't have these systems in place to be able to just, start producing right away. They're stuck up here in this contact phase for so long that, they're calling their circle of influence, they're cold calling homeowners, they're, anybody that they know, they're just trying to find somebody that wants to potentially buy or sell real estate. So that in itself can take, especially when you're first getting started, a couple months to, just even find a couple clients, one client that's interested in transacting with you. So then once you find this person, you then have to take them down your pipeline into the contact to contract phase. So this is the stage where, okay, you've determined this person's deciding that they actually want to buy or sell a house. So now how do we figure out, get them into their perfect house, make the deal work? How do we sell their house, get them the most money in the littlest time possible, whatever the case may be. So now instead of you being up here, prospecting, contacting new people and generating this new business, now all of your attention's down here working with this client, trying to find them their ideal property. So you do find that ideal property, you negotiate the deal. Now you got to drop down into the contract to close phase. So this stage is super, super important. A lot of people think, oh, once I get the contract, I'm done. But no, you got to deal with inspections, you got to deal with appraisals, you got to deal with, sellers getting cold feet, you got to deal with buyers getting cold feet, you got to deal with, a lot of different emotions and things going on, and you got to really, make sure that everyone's on timelines, that the transactions, staying on time, escrow deposits are getting received, insurance quotes are being secured, appraisals are being done, inspections are being done, any repairs are being forwarded to, the seller's agent, or whether you're asking for credit, or whether, whatever the case may be, proceed with the thing how it is. There's all these different steps in these transactions. So for the average agent who's on this 100% brokerage, they're not getting any of the support or the leads or the training or anything. It's just basically, hey, sign up. It sounds great. You get to keep 100% of your commission, but now you have this 3 to 4 month process of just getting one deal, because you have to go from your contact to your contract to your close phase and go through all of these steps. Now you're done. You maybe spent 3 or 4 months just dealing with this one person. Yeah, hopefully you sold, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 house, but you could have sold, a $300,000 house, a $200,000 condo. You don't know for sure, maybe you got 2.5%. Yeah, you get to keep 100% of it, but when you really look at all the work that you did over here for the 3 to 4 months to generate that 100% of commission, you really got to go back and kind of figure out, is it really worth it to me? So, kind of when you get to that team environment, like I did when I first started, is I already had this contact phase, for the most part set up. So I had the broker and the office basically had all their systems set up to generate leads. Those leads were people who were coming and saying, hey, I want to buy and sell, I want to buy and sell. So really all I had to do was these bottom 2 steps, the contact to contract and then the contract to close, because the people already up here said, hey, we're interested. And then really all of my job in here is just getting that first initial connection and then getting them into some properties and going from there. So it was really, really saved me a lot of that effort of finding these initial people, because I already had a database of all of these, initial people. And a lot of team structures, they have this part taken care of and the contract to close part taken care of. So really all you have to do, follow up with leads, set appointments, go show houses, and you're done. And you make basically the same money that you basically would, at the bottom make very, very similar or more money with way less stress than you would on this whole 100%. Now, the other thing we have to consider too is all of the 100% agents that don't have all of these things. Yes, they're keeping 100% at the bottom, but in order to automate any of these tasks of a transaction, you have to then spend capital. So now you're not actually keeping 100% of what you make, because you're going to have to reinvest 25, 30, 35% of, your profits back into these other phases to be able to automate them. Because if you're not automating them, then ultimately you're going to have to work full time to make, full-time results, or maybe potentially even part-time results, because your steps and your processes are not efficient. So a lot of times it is most beneficial for new agents who don't have the past experience, the past, things like that to be able. So a lot of times it is beneficial for new agents who don't have the past experience, who don't have, systems set up, who don't really know what they're doing, to join a team or join a broker that's super, super structurally set up to where they can just jump in right away and succeed, instead of having to go through all of these hoops and steps of, just struggling to make this 100% commission at the bottom, yeah, that's nice. You made your whole 10,000, your whole 15,000, whatever the amount may be. But you also had to do all of this whole process. If it takes 4 months, now you're really only making $2,500 a month. So when you kind of break it down there, all of the tasks and stuff that you're doing, is it really worth it for you to be making that 100% at the bottom? And like I said, if you're trying to automate any of these steps up here, you're going to be taking this capital and reinvesting it. So for a lot of people who don't want to be, this whole big business owner, because that's the thing, is real estate, we're business owners. We're not just real estate salespeople. A lot of us aren't just working for this or working for that. We're running our own business. So it's yes, you're getting high splits and you're getting to keep a lot of your money, but now you're having to be a ads manager, you're having to be a marketing director, you're having to be a customer service representative, you're having to be a transaction coordinator. You're doing so many different steps to where it might be most beneficial to just join a team that has a lot of these things taken care of for you. Yes, your splits may be lower, but you're going to be doing only a portion of the transaction and making way more money per time invested. So your hourly rate typically will go up way more in a team environment than it would in a solo agent environment without having all of these processes automated. And so ultimately it does kind of come down to what you want in your real estate career. Do you want to have part-time? Do you want to have free time? Do you want to have a structure of just follow up and make full-time living working part-time hours? Or do you want to be the marketing director? Do you want to be the transaction coordinator? Do you want to have to manage every step of your business? Yes, you can scale it way higher than you maybe potentially could with a team, but then you're having to do all of these extra steps and all of these different things to ultimately reach the same goal at the bottom of the same amount of money. But for instance, our agents, they're able to just basically get their leads, follow up. We sit down with them, we make them a process of kind of how much money do you want to make, how successful are you looking to be at this, how many hours are you looking to work, kind of make them a custom schedule that's designed to fit them. So maybe they're only working 10-20 hours a week making 30 to 50 grand a year, or maybe they're working 40 to 60 hours a week making 80 to 150,000. They're having a lot of these processes and things taken care of for them by the team where they're able to just excel at what they do. They're able to meet customers in the field, be friendly, be personable, make a connection, show them things, answer their questions, be helpful, get them under contract on the house, and then they can pass it off to the team. Hey, I'm done. I can go focus on getting new clients rather than having to figure out all these different moving parts of being a business owner. A lot of times with the added efficiency and structure of a team, agents are ended up setting multiple appointments a week, writing multiple contracts a week or a month, rather than, on this 100% plan, maybe you're writing a contract once a month, once every 2 months, getting to closing every 3 to 4 months, where with the team, you have this consistency and this follow-up, this steady stream of leads. You have all of these things coming in that you can very easily just focus on the tasks that you need to do and effectively and efficiently go close deals and just be hyper-focused on, hey, I'm just going to call these people, introduce myself, be friendly, get them an appointment to go see houses. They want to put in an offer, get their proof of funds, put in the offer, pass it off to team leads, I'm done. So it really ultimately, it kind of depends on what you're looking for in your real estate career. So, obviously your split's going to be lower on the team where you are having all of these things taken care of for you, but it's, ultimately, would you rather make 35% of a big number, or would you rather make 100% of a little number? So ultimately, each person's going to have their different wants and goals and where they see their career going. So ultimately it does, depend on the person, but I personally do think that for new agents joining a team and having some kind of structure is definitely beneficial. I don't know if I would even be where I am today if I had joined 100% brokerage. And I've been around the business my whole entire life, but without having that consistent stream of leads, the coach of my mom, my broker, being able to, hey, what do I do? What do I do? Hey, what kind of schedule should I follow? What do I say if this happens? What do I do if this happens? Blah, blah, blah. Being able to, one, not just having the leads and all of these things taken care of for you, but also just having a teammate and a mentor and a coach and all of these things in one, too. So when you're on a team, you're with other agents, you're with your team leads, you're with your, coaches, you're with all of these different things. So you have a full supported system and you're able to excel versus trying to do all of these little things yourself and competing with all of the other agents around you. Everyone's just working together to, ultimately get to this big production goal all together. But just before we end, I just wanted to do a little thought experiment for you. So kind of going back to what I was saying, would you rather have 100% of, a small number or 35% of a little number? Let's just say this agent at 100% brokerage closes $1,400,000 $400,000 house every 3 months. You know, 400,000 times 4, that's going to be $1.6 million in sales for the year. If they make an average of 2.5% commission, they'd be making $40,000 a year. 100%, that's all going into their pocket. But this is not considering any extra costs that they may have had to generate that money. Let's just say, you know, typically without the cost to generate that $40,000 a year, you'd be spending 40 to 60 hours a week putting in the consistent follow-up, the consistent prospecting, the consistent lead generation in your daily things. So you're either gonna have to put in that time effort of 40 to 60 hours to make your 40 grand a year, or you're gonna have to put in some capital up front to then, you know, maybe you're making only 20, 30 because you had to invest all this money up top to get these leads rolling. Now let's just say on the converse, an agent with a team, they're only doing a small part of a transaction, 25%, 35% of the work. They might be able to close a $400,000 house once a month, where this agent over here, once every 3 to 4 months, they're able to do it. The agent on the team's able to close $4.8 million in sales and bring in $120,000 of gross commission income. If they were able to keep 35% of that, which ultimately, you know, depends on your team and your structure, they'd be able to keep $42,000. So they are able to work a very, very structured, you know, 20-hour, 30-hour, maybe 40-hour work week and do more volume, bring in more things, but also have a lot of these steps taken care of for them. They're not having all the stress of, hey, how do I get my next client? How do I get my next this? Or, oh, I got to worry about, is this transaction going to close? All they have to do is just be a really good agent, show houses, and write contracts, and we deal with the rest. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, I'm Brayden Milner, team lead at the Milner Team with Florida Future Realty. And if you're thinking about getting your real estate license or in the Southwest Florida region, we would love to have a conversation about joining our team. We offer full support for all of our agents and make sure that they're on the path to success. And the brokerage does also offer solo agent plans as well, if that's something that you would like to do. And if any of you have yet to do the real estate school yet, save your receipt and I'll pay you back on your first deal. Let me know if you have any questions about real estate or want some tips on how to excel your career. You can give us a call or text anytime at 239-895-9383 or send us an email at admin@themilnerteamfl.com and hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this weekly.